Hi, it's Michael Trigg here, the Presentation Maestro, with a brief autopsy on Michael Bay's horrendous bombing in front of the world's press at the Samsung television launch. Now, I'm not going to join the chorus of finger pointers and gigglers, because this is most of our ultimate nightmare of bombing in front of the world's press on a massive stage. So there's no sense of schadenfreude in what I'm going to do. But what I thought might be useful is to actually draw some lessons from this. What could we learn from it? So what I'm going to do first is play this whole clip through. It's only 1 minute 20, watching it. And then we're going to take it apart bit by bit and see what we can learn from it. So let's have a look first of all at how it went.
Gentlemen, director and producer Michael Bay. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Joe.
Good afternoon, Michael.
How is everyone today? My job as a director is I get to dream for a living.
Michael, you're known for such unbelievable action. What inspires you? How do you come up with these unbelievable ideas?
I create visual worlds that are so beyond everyone's normal life experiences. And Hollywood is a place that creates a viewer escape. And what I try to do is, as a director, I try to... the type is all off, sorry, but I'll just wing this.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, we'll wing it right now. I try to take people on an emotional ride, and
The curve? How do you think it's going to impact how viewers experience your movies?
excuse me, I'm sorry.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Michael Bay for joining us.
Ooh, it's toe curling, isn't it? I mean, you've got to be made of stone not to feel for the guy. You really have. But let's actually see what's happening here. Because this actually was a car crash waiting to happen. And we'll take it apart bit by bit. Well, let's look at his entrance first of all. And just look at the strange hop he makes.
Gentlemen,
Around
director and
about 10
producer
seconds
Michael
into it.
Bay.
He comes in like a bullet out of a gun. And this very strange little hop he makes.
Thanks, Joe.
Good afternoon, Michael.
Whoa!
How is
Now what was that about? It doesn't look too comfortable, does he? And I don't know what you think, but I think he's wired, really. He's as tense as anything. And who wouldn't be going on stage in front of the world's media? But what has also happened here is that he starts to talk before he's supposed to. I'm going to play the next few seconds. Just listen to what he says and also watch his hands.
today? My job as a director is I get to dream for a living.
Michael.
Yeah. Did he write those words? I don't know. But also something else has happened here. I'm going to wind it back just for a second. Look at the man on the right and what he does or tries to do.
My job as a director.
I think he was supposed to start the interviewing with a question, but Michael Bay has just bowled straight in and started to answer a question that hasn't yet been posed. So already they are out of sync with each other. And that's damn difficult to recover from if you're teleprompted. Now look what happens beyond his
I
drive.
get to dream for a living.
Michael, you're known for such unbelievable action. What inspires you? How do you come up with these unbelievable ideas?
I create visual worlds that are so beyond everyone's normal life experiences. And Hollywood is a place that creates a viewer escape. And
Now, do you think he wrote those words? I mean, it almost wants to make you pick up a bucket and puke in it, really, doesn't it? Now, he might have done. I mean, he is from Hollywood. But I suspect those words are written by somebody else. And it's difficult to sound authentic, congruent, passionate if you're reading or talking somebody else's words. So I suspect they were probably written by a branding agency or by Samsung themselves. So, lesson number one, he's not talking his own words. And that's always hard, and I would very rarely recommend it. Going to play that little bit again. Now, watch the tells, watch his stance, watch his hand wringing. They're actually very revealing.
I create visual worlds that are so beyond everyone's normal life experiences. And Hollywood is a place that creates a viewer escape. And what I try to do is, as a director, I try to...
Yeah, poor guy. Well, did you watch him, his shoulders swinging as his hips swayed madly from side to side? This is an indication of real discomfort. And did you notice his fingers were entwined very closely and sort of wringing the hands? I mean, he is in real discomfort here. So why is he dried? Well, not only is he out of sequence with his interviewer, the teleprompter has just gone on the blink, which is a nightmare.
The type is all off, sorry, but I'll just wing this.
Tell us what you think.
Yes, I wish he would wing it, but he didn't. And not too surprisingly, it's incredibly hard to wing something like this. But the only time I've ever heard of it being done well was by President Clinton some years ago when he was giving a major address to Congress. And up on the auto cue came last year's speech. And being the consummate politician and professional that he was, or still is, he just whispered an aside to Al Gore, saying, Al, will you go and start this thing? And he winged it for I don't know how long, until Al Gore managed to get behind the scenes, sort it out, put the proper script on the auto cue, and then Bill Clinton took it away. But that's given to very few of us. And do remember, when politicians are using auto cues and teleprompters, which they do regularly, don't forget they do it for a living. They're doing it almost every day, or maybe several times a day. So reading from an auto cue or teleprompt is a separate skill, and most senior management do not have the time or make the time to learn how to do it properly. So you're on a bit of a hiding to nothing to begin with. Now let's see what happens next.
Yeah, we'll wing it right now. I try to take people on an emotional ride, and
Really? He's so out of sync now, poor guy. Now he's thrown a beautiful lifeline by the guy on the right. A great lifeline.
The curve? How do you think it's going to impact how viewers experience your movies?
Then that would be a great one to answer, because it's pretty simple. And you can flannel and make all sorts of comments. Oh, it'll look great on this curved screen and everything else. Is a new experience. But he's far too gone by now. And he just gives up.
excuse me, I'm sorry.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen.
And so what lessons can we learn from this? Well, not wallowing the poor guy's discomfort, but to use the famous Irish story, when the Irishman was asked for directions, and he said, if it's there you want to get to, I wouldn't be starting from here. And as I said earlier, this was a car crash made to happen. This was not the context for a teleprompter at all. It was a context for a light-hearted banter. And when your nerves and adrenaline are flooding around the system, which they generally are when you're about to make a major talk like this, the left-hand side of your brain, which is concerned with logic and sequence and everything else, just shuts down a lot of the time. And it takes a leap out of the window. So we've got the double whammy here of nerves really blocking the performance and technology going down. And in this sort of, another lesson would be, in this sort of context, if it's a question and answer banter thing, it's definitely worthwhile rehearsing it, Not word perfectly, but rehearsing it. And then keeping it light. If there's the odd fluff in it, there's the odd mistake, it doesn't really matter, because it's supposed to be light. Because there's nothing worse than a stilted question and answer banter between two people when they're reading off autoprompt or auto cue. And also, what would really have helped Michael Bay would have been if he'd done a few simple breathing exercises before coming on stage. Principally, the most simple one I can give you now would just be to breathe through your nose into the bottom part of your lungs. So your tummy swells out. It looks disgusting, particularly if you're carrying a bit of weight. But it really, if you do that 4 or 5 times slowly and deeply, it really tends to steady the nerves. So, to summarize, I wouldn't have started this way at all. I wouldn't have used a teleprompter for this. I would have rehearsed the question and answer lightly, kept it light, and I would have made sure Michael Bay did some breathing before he came on. Anyway, I'd love to know your views. If you think the same thing or similar or different, do feel free to leave them in the comment box at the bottom. Bye for now.